Welcome back to episode 352 of the Guy and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use the podcast to talk about guide guns and the responsible Christian gun owners' interests. On this week's show, we'll be talking about why are we not at the NRA annual meeting in Indianapolis, Doug? We'll talk about that in a minute.
We
First
will.
of all, we want to thank a band of sponsors, Farms Radio Network. We have a lot of shows over there. If you guys want to go back and scroll through all the history of the last 10 years of the Farms Radio Network, our show started just a little bit after, I think, the original. I can't remember what the original Gun Talk or there was some show that they started over there, and then this one started not long after that. Um, It was the one that Jake ran. But there's a ton of other shows. There's some new shows over there. If you've not checked them out recently, go over and check out those other shows on the Farms Radio Network. We would greatly appreciate it as a community. And we want to thank the Patriot Patch CO, the founder of the Farms Radio Network, of course, was Jake Challen. And he also started the Patriot Patch Company and focuses most of his time running that business now. And if you've not checked out all the cool patches and stickers and gun rugs and shirts and all kinds of goodies over there, metal signs, everything gun and patriotic related. Please go over there and check out patriotpatch.co. He has sent me checks for the last 2 months, and I haven't cashed them because we haven't done very many shows. So I don't feel right taking Patriot Patch's money for that, but we appreciate their support. But we'll try to get more regular and be worthy of the kind of support he's been given. But we
Right.
appreciate everything they do for us and are excited. We do have a new sponsor coming. Just was talking to Krista at the Farms Radio Network marketing person, and they said that a new company has wanted to pick us up for that spot that we've just recently separated with. And so you guys will see a new sponsor here shortly. All right, this week's gun and gun activities. Is that what you've been up to?
Let's see. On the God side, Sportsman's Daily Devotional, Church on Sunday, um, and it was Easter Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday. It was a good day. Um, our church they were supposed to do Easter egg hunts on Saturday, and we got rained out down there Saturday, so they wound up doing it on Sunday. So um, they had a good time, but church was good. Good message by the pastor this week, well, every week, but he's a hoot. Had a My buddy Rick came down from Tennessee over the weekend, this last weekend. He
Yeah,
actually went to
volunteer
church with
show up.
us. Huh?
Yeah, volunteer show up.
I I did.
A
I did have
Tennessee
a
volunteer.
volunteer. Yes, sir. So he come down and we went to church on Sunday. We actually went pig killing on Friday night, and Rick killed two, and I killed absolutely ground. I sh-
Oh no.
I don't miss often, dude, but when I do, I miss good,
Yeah.
and I missed really good the other day. I f- I usually don't flinch, but when Rick's gun went off, apparently flinched just a little bit, and I missed, which don't happen often, but it do happen to the best of us.
Hmm.
But we had a good time. We still took down two pigs out of a group, and then I went back out last night. Me and my granddaughter Zoe went. What was last night? I've lost track of days, man. Uh, Last night was Wednesday. Tuesday night, she went with me out there, and we put out 200 pounds of corn in two different spots, and we wound up. I dropped the tailgate on the truck, and we pulled up the hill a little ways and just sat there until dark because these pigs have been coming in pretty regular. And we sat there, and they were no shows, but she has a good time going out there and slinging corn around with me and having a good time. We stopped by the convenience store on the way out and get drinks and snacks and everything else she can think of that anything she wants she pretty much gets. So we uh, we didn't kill no pigs, but we ate good and had a good time. It's always
Good.
fun hanging out with her. She's fixed to be 10 this year in June, so she's getting
Ooh,
to that age. I
double
was going to let her
digits.
get on the gun. I had the gun up on the tripod. We're sitting there, and I was actually, if one walked out, I was going to let her kill it because I can, that thermal, I can look at it on my phone and watch what she's doing, before she makes the shot and stuff. She's like, maybe next time, maybe next time.
Figure out with the
So
22 a little bit more. Get her used to it.
yeah, well, run that pressure on that gun and having it in the bog pot, it doesn't even flinch when you pull the trigger. So she would have done fine with it. But I need to take her up to the ring one day with a 22 and let her go up there and plink around some. What else have I been doing? I've been working on my whiskey barrel, getting it ready for my deer mount. My taxidermist says my deer is going to be ready. Uh, she says I'm going to be able to hopefully pick it up this week. We'll see. I hope so. It's been a long time coming. I'm ready to get that bad boy home. I haven't seen him in 16 months, so it's been a while.
Mm,
hmm But she does good work, and I'm a fairly patient person. I got the lights to put in. Zoe came over, her and Amelia, and spent the night. The spring break was last week. They were over at the house and spent the night with us. I had them outside with me, and we were working on the barrel, putting a shelf inside, which I have to send you a picture so you what it's looking like. But we got the shelf mounted in. I let her stain it, and she got all that. She got that done with me, and the only thing I got left is put lights in it, and I got a cedar fence post that I'm going to mount to the top of it that has like some old piece of barbed wire still attached to it that are rusted out.
hmm
So I'm going to put it up and I'm going to mount the deer to the fence post. I'm going to put a little scenery habitat on the top of the barrel with some. Man, I keep calling it fescue grass. It's not fescue. It's uh, broom sage grass.
Oh,
I
okay.
got some out of the ditch across the street from the house. There was a bunch there, and I cut a bunch, and I'm going to put it around the post like it's a growed up fence row or something. He's walking through, so it should look pretty cool when I'm done. But other than that, I'm still waiting on my Sig P365 with the RMR cut to come in. Hadn't got here yet, so I'm just patiently waiting for that and get back in business. But that's
Good
that's
deal.
about it for that's it for me. What you been up to?
Well, on the God side, just daily Bible reading, of course, attended church. Been able to walk upright and not have to use an e-scooter for the last 2 weeks, so that's been good. Doctor gave me the all clear, and so I've been walking with the aid of a cane just to help my balance until my ankle gets strengthened back up again. But it looks good. It looks almost identical to my left foot now. So I had a little bit of pain last
There
week,
you go.
which was new because I have neuropathy. I've had neuropathy since I was 16. Played football. I got speared 3 times in 2 years of playing football, and I lost the feeling in my feet and haven't felt them since, well, what's that, 40 years ago? I haven't felt them for 40 years. Well, the strange thing was this week I started feeling the bottom of my feet. So between the fasting and the supplements I've been taking for nerve damage, I'm starting to feel my feet, which is why I'm starting to feel some pain because I hadn't felt any pain in it through this whole ordeal. It felt uneasy. It felt like it wasn't holding together. It didn't feel like I had a firm foundation when I first had the thing. That was just the sort of a strange
hmm
feeling. But since I've been on this diet and eat one meal a day, and there's probably once or twice a week I eat 2 meals, but usually within like a 3 or 4 hour window. I don't usually eat, but maybe 1,000 calories to 1,200 calories a day on the days I eat. Some days I don't eat at all. Still do 1 to 3 day fast in between, just sort of as my body sort of feels like it needs to, or I get to like a set point and I can't get below it. I'll fast for a few days and that breaks me through it. Then I can continue on down. I'm down 44 pounds since January, and I'm down another belt size this week from the last time, or I guess it's been 2 weeks. I'm down 2 belt sizes, I guess, since then. I've been dropping about a belt size a week.
Hey,
and
they'll blow away.
I doubt that. Even at my skinniest, I'll still be about 240 pounds. If I can get down to where I have like 8-9% body fat, I'd be 240 pounds probably. So my body fat now is in the 20. I'm down at 20% body fat on the total body fat. The
Hmm.
visceral fat's what's the hardest thing for me to lose. That's the fat around your organs, according to this meter I've got. But it's slowly coming off, and then I've got all this excess skin. So I lost everything underneath of it, but the skin's it takes longer to absorb. So I've switched my diet up, and I've cut my carbs. I was eating quite a bit of vegetable carbs, but I've cut those back, and it's starting to draw up a little bit more. I noticed my blood sugar got a little bit better too. So I do vegetables like spinach or uh, green beans. I've been doing peas, but that's sort of a starchy vegetable, so I cut that out. Yeah, I don't care about any of that stuff. But my blood sugar is perfect. It was like 90 yesterday and 102 today. So it's getting normalized. I think it takes like 6 months to a year for the insulin resistance aspect of diabetes to go away. Once you get your blood sugar normalized, your body still dumps way more insulin than it needs to, and that's what causes insulin resistance. And so, eating one meal a day helps with that. It helps get your insulin resistance down. So it takes longer, especially as old as I am. It takes a lot longer for my body to heal. But I'm really encouraged because I'm feeling more sensation in my feet, and my foot feels strong. I can walk without the cane now. My foot's that much stronger. I go back another 2 weeks, I think, to the doc, and he says, "Well, I could keep wearing this brace, or I could do it up." So we'll find out. Hopefully, it keeps going. Thanks for all the prayers. On the gun side, I did pick up a new Ruger Wrangler. It was 2 weeks ago. I picked it up. Some of you guys might have saw. I was sitting on the back porch shooting carpenter bees with the little bird shot shells, CCI shot shells, and I was shooting starlings. We always have starlings that come in and make a mess and make everything white. And they were trying to build nests in our porch, and so I went out there and sat on the back porch. And the days I had to prop my feet up, I overdid it like a week and a half ago, and my foot was really aggravated. And I thought, oh no, I've went backwards. But I put my foot up for a day, maybe it was 2 days, and it went back to normal. And so I just can't overdo it. Today I got in the tractor and was trying to we hooked up the grader box, got a big box grader to do our driveways. We got long gravel driveways, and got some rock this week, and was going to go out and grade it. And both tires are flat. Every time you go on the farm, there's always something, and usually they air right back up. Of course, this time the one rim was rusted, and so it poked the inner tube. So had Gunner run those over to get them repaired, and he said he can't do anything for one wheel. So now I got to find a wheel for a grater box. That's gonna be fun. It's not a standard type wheel, so I'm gonna scavenge the scrap yards to see if I can find one. Took my grater back out, and so I've been working in and out of the house. Um, we're trying to get two houses ready to rent. Well, we got a condo and a house to get ready to rent, and the needs flooring in both of them. One of them needs plumbing. Other one needs some minor plumbing. One of them needs major drywall. We had to cut out parts of the ceiling to run new wires into part of the house where we bought a repo that had been abandoned for like 3 years, and a lot of the wiring, the mice had got in there and chewed, or rats or something got in there and chewed the wiring, insulation off the wiring. So we had to run all new wiring in that part of the house, and gotta get the plumbing checked out. And tell you, it takes forever to get a plumber or electrician right now. I'll get anyone in the trades. If your kids are thinking about going to college, I'd encourage them going to the trades because they can make a whole lot of money and they won't have all that college debt.
Right.
And they're in high demand everywhere around here. I don't know about down there, but I'm trying to find drywall people. Trying to find. I called 8 drywall guys. One guy called me back. He's booked out for 3 weeks. Uh, called the painter today because it's a lot of painting. Both these units going to need complete new paint jobs. Like one guy quoted is $3,500 to paint a two-bedroom house. I'm like, seriously,
3,500.
3,500
Ooh,
include the paint, but it's still I'm like, good grief, people. Inflation, it's a horrible thing. Enough of my woes. Let's see what else we do. Oh, I'm now the net control for Monday night Central Kentucky Amateur Radio 2 meter net. We have one every night, but I'm doing the net control Monday nights now. Previous guy retired, and I got to do the KY4X Mammoth Cave Area Fusion Net Tuesday night for um, William. He had something previous something he had to do when they was doing it, so I was able to pick that up. So trying to get back in the swing of running net. I'd done it a year and a half or so ago for one of the hams that had to take a little bit of time off, and so I enjoy it. Just getting everything ready, make sure you're there on time. So
yeah.
that's been pretty much my stuff.
I've been. I think I'm working on a new ham technician. Man, Zoe was
Good.
infatuated with my radio the other
Oh
night.
yeah, we were talking back and forth.
We were, I, I I texted Troy and I told him, I said, hey, if you're on, get on 30 Bravo real quick. And he got on. It just amazed her that I could talk to you on the radio in the truck like that.
Hmm.
And then, I let her say something on the radio and stuff. She thought that was just cool. She was just infatuated with it.
Yeah,
How I was scanning repeaters and stuff. And
you need to get
so
your general, man.
I'm studying for it. I'm studying now for it. So
Good deal.
I am going to take
I
it.
think that test might change in June, so you want to make sure you have to check and see when they change the question pool every 2 or 3 years. I think every 3 years, maybe four. But I think the general changes this summer. You might want to make sure you take it before then, so you don't have to restudy everything like I did with the extra.
Yeah.
Oh, I did get a new HF antenna for the ICOM. It's a QRP antenna. It's a light. I mean, because of the ICOM 705, it's only 10 watts if you're plugged into external power, or 6 watts on the battery, I think it is. And then the new Go bag, I got a new Go bag in. I did a review on that, and I posted it on Guide and Guns and Guide and Guns ham page. And
That's pretty cool.
yeah, I like it. I am looking forward to getting out and using it. I've I got all my antennas and my ground wire and my cable together, so I can go out and set it up remote somewhere and try to get some contacts on HF. Let's see, EDC. I'm carrying the Shadow Systems XR920 tonight, and what else? That's about all I'm carrying for guns. I showed you the Wrangler earlier. What are you packing tonight?
Oh, usual suspect. I got the Glock 19 with the student of the gun, night vision sights on the front,
Good deal.
and I tote it around quite often. I don't have my pocket gun right now since my wife confiscated that, but also sitting here, I got my I got my hog killing gun on charge over here, laying next to me, getting ready because I'm probably gonna go get it tomorrow night.
Good deal.
Brian
Yep.
Hansen said he had fun catching you on Tuesday night on the net, Troy.
Yep. It was good to have him on. He was the sole person from Missouri. We had John also was on. Was it in the N2 EJM? Maybe N4 EJM. I can't remember what his number
I,
is.
I heard him chime in a while ago on the
Yeah, he checked
Kentucky
in.
D Star. Mm-hmm.
DMR, DSTAR. Yeah,
Yep.
good
Yeah, I'm not
deal.
running DMR yet, so
We have um, we have All Star now on the Central Kentucky Amateur Radio Club. So if you have an All Star app like Repeater Phone,
I
if
do
you have,
have All Star.
so you can check in on the Monday night nets I'm on if you'd like to using
Really?
the yeah it's using the All Star, or you can use the I think Thomas has got the Echolink as well, and then we got Echolink on the KY4X nightly nets as well. So you can log in with Echolink. Enough ham stuff. People are then rolling their eyes and saying, "Go on." Maybe if you guys all become ham, see, we can all talk on the radios together too.
We need to have a God and gun net.
Yeah. Easy. Ice just. All right, you got a joke for us.
I do. I got a blonde joke for us tonight. So a blonde goes into the doctor. Doctor says, "How can I help you today?" She said, "It hurts right here. Ouch." As she points to her shoulder. "Okay. Does it hurt anywhere else on you?" "It sure does. On my leg here." And she points to her leg. She said, he said, "I see. Does it hurt any other places?" She said, "It does. On my back right here. Ow." And she cries as she points to her back. The doctor asked her, said, "Are you actually a blonde that dyed your hair brown?" And she said, "Yeah. How in the earth did you know that?" He said, "Well, you actually have a broken finger."
Blind jokes are back.
Blonde jokes are back.
Did they ever go out of style?
They do not.
Oh,
Eh,
somebody was telling me a blonde joke yesterday. I can't remember what it was, but it might come to me later. On this day in history, what happened, Doug?
hey, on this day in history, I thought this was kind of interesting. It was 1970. Um, Apollo 13 faces catastrophic 200,000 miles from Earth. 2 days after launching from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, a warning light, a loud bang, and a message: "Houston, we've had a problem here." Puts an end to Apollo 13 mission to the moon. An exploded oxygen tank on the spacecraft makes returning to Earth um, alive a new goal. And I think everybody's probably seen that movie Apollo 13.
Hmm.
And I was only 5 then, so I don't really remember it. I can remember on the news when they splashed in. I can remember the landings and stuff because I thought that was just pretty cool.
Hmm.
That a boat went out there and picked them up, but it was pretty cool. Um, but luckily they all survived and made it back with no problems.
Awesome. Well, let's see. Where are we at? Bible verse of. When you say that, I remember my dad coming home from work, and his ritual was he'd come home from work. He would go sit in his big chair and he'd get out the newspaper to see what happened that day. And he would sit there with his cigarette, smoking his cigarette, reading the paper. And I would sit on the floor in front of him and I would read the backside of the paper. I don't know. Yeah, I could read a little bit. I was 3 or 4. I can remember at 4 sitting there, and he wouldn't talk to me. I mean, my dad was a lot like his dad. He was like, children are to be seen, not heard, kind of thing. I mean, not that he didn't love me, didn't spend time with me. He just, when he was in his downtime, he was just like zoned out. He would take
Hmm.
me, we'd go fishing and stuff like that. But I can remember I would sit there and just sit there and read the paper like he'd read the paper. And he'd sit there. I never sat in his lap because I didn't like the cigarette smoke. But he would sit there and read the paper, and I'd sit there on the floor in front and read the paper. And he'd turn it off, and he'd watch the 5 o'clock news. We'd turn around and sit and watch the 5 o'clock news. And then I remember we'd go eat supper. That's about all I can remember. That my earliest memories of him coming in from work. And then he was an amateur photographer, and he had a what do they call it, a black, what do they call it? The
Dark
photo
room.
where you do dark room. Yeah, dark room out behind the house in a little shed, and he wouldn't let me go out there. He would put a lock on it, and then sometimes he would let me come in after he developed it and had it hanging up in the on the little clips and stuff. He let me come in there, but he always kept that locked up, keep me out of there. Bummer, that red light bulb in there. Well, let's see. Bible verse tonight. Weird things you remember from your youth, yeah.
Oh, I know.
We we have Philippians 4. Let me grab it over here where I can see it. Philippians 4, verses 4 down through 9. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. So, in these times that we're going through right now, when people are lying continuously, I mean, we see our politicians lie, we see the media lie, we see bureaucrats lie, we see people proclaiming to be Christians lie. Everybody seems to be lying without even batting an eye. They're not even embarrassed by their lies. They either believe it themselves or whatever. But when you see the world as it is, when people are trying to say that they're something they're not, when obviously we can look at the person and say they're not what they're saying they are. I mean, that's just ultimate lie. I mean, it's trying to truth, proclaim a lie as truth. I mean, we know that means that they're the children of their father, the devil. Was a liar since the beginning. He was a liar and a murderer. And we see these killings now. I think there's three or four of these people who are confused about their sex, who have shot up schools. Um, when you see government bureaucrats trying to take away your inalienable rights through edict, when you see the amount of theft that our government is perpetrating upon the American people by printing money, that's stealing your money. When they print money to pay their debts that they've ran up, it's a hidden tax. It's what causes inflation. The reason you're paying double what you used to pay for groceries, triple what you paid for groceries before, is because government is stealing your funds in front of your face. And so they're like, we'll just keep printing more money because they're going to keep pushing agendas and pushing things that are against what the people want. We have lawless rulers and leaders, and it's a time where a lot of people are losing heart. A lot of people are becoming calloused. A lot of people are becoming apathetic, and a lot of people are getting depressed, and a lot of people are committing suicide. We had a young man, family in our community that had committed suicide. It's not the first time this year, um, because it seems hopeless. It seems like people are cruel. Every time I drive, people seem that so just self-centered and cruel and driving breakneck speeds through parking lots, and just as soon as something happens, they blow up and become a cussing fit. When you see all these things, these are the birth pangs, right? These are the times that we're living in, that you're starting to see the end times, I believe, coming. I don't know. I'm not saying I know the day or the time or anything like that, but a lot of the things that need to happen before the end time are apparent. And not all those things have happened yet, but it's not long. I mean, it can happen quickly. It seems like things are just speeding up. It seems like just enormously. The days seem so much faster to me. I don't know about you, Doug, but it seems like the days just fly by, and people's tempers are so short, and the cost of everything is exceedingly more and more the cost of bread, right? And one of the things is how much it costs a whole day's wages for a loaf of bread. Uh, those are things that we see in prophecy. All this stuff, we need to remember that we need to rejoice in the Lord, because we have a hope that the lost people around us don't have. We don't need to become negative. We don't need to become depressed or sorrowful. We can become sad that the country we grew up in, it's not like that anymore. But we have to remember, our hope is not in the United States. Our hope is not in Kentucky or Georgia. Our hope's not in any kind of politician. Our hope's not in a preacher. Our hope's not in our family. Our hope is in Jesus Christ alone. And because of that, we can go to him with all of our concerns and all of our problems and lay those at his feet. Here in Philippians 4:4 and all the way down to the 9, you can see that God's saying, when these things are troubling you, come to me with your request. If you come to the Lord and pray and express your problems, your concerns, it doesn't mean that those problems and concerns will go away. It means that he's going to be with you through those things. Because what's important is not how we eat or what we wear or what we drive. What's important is our relationship with God, because this world's going away. At some point in time, Jesus is coming back. All of the saints are going to be drawn up and taken to heaven. And this world is going to be judged. And all those that are not saved by the grace of God, all of them will be condemned. But we have a hope that the rest of the world doesn't have. And the reason that we need to be uplifted and positive and happy and joyful and rejoicing in God is because we will be that light in this dark, horrible world. We have the good news, and be ready to give a reason why it is that you have that hope and that joy. We are the witnesses. We are the hands and the feet. We're the faces of God in this world that's lost, dying, and going to hell. And if we don't look like we're happy, if we don't let people know about that we have peace, when we see these things, it's funny that people think that we're morbid or whatever, think that but our hope isn't in any of this stuff. I can tell you from personal, I've told this before. I can tell you, you can lose every bit of the money you have in your bank. You can lose your home. You can lose everything in a snap of a fingers. I can tell you for a fact that can happen. I can tell you that you can lose your health. I can tell you that you can lose your family. I can tell you that you can lose everything around you, just like the life of Job, right? You can lose everything around you, but if your hope is in Jesus, if your hope is in Jesus as your Savior, you have a peace that no one else can understand. Only another believer can understand. And so make sure that you don't get wrapped up in the woes of the world and get so distraught and get so down that you become someone that looks like you don't have faith. Someone that So make sure that you're rooting yourself in the Word, that you know what the Scripture says. So when these things that come upon the earth, which are going to cause men's heart to fail, in the end times, there are things that are going to happen that cause men's hearts to fail. When you see these massive earthquakes all over the Middle East and all over uh, lower parts of Europe and stuff that's happened, you see all this massive wars and things that are going on. Understand that these are all the growing pain, the growth pain. I mean, the birth pains, right? It's going to become more and more deadly. It's going to become more and more wars. There's going to be more and more pestilence, more and more disease, and more attacks by the devil and his children. And so it is with our faith that we will get through this. And so make sure your faith is intact, that you know the Word of God, that you're talking and communing with God and spending time in His presence daily. So all these attacks that are coming in, you can just filter it knowing that you have a ticket, right? You're not going to be here. And make sure you share that with your family and your friends, and you let them know that they need to be, putting their faith in Jesus, because the times are only going to get worse. And I can tell you, people that you think that love you and care about you can turn on you in an instant.
Oh
And
yeah.
who do you turn to then? Who you turn to if you don't have God? If everyone that you put your trust and faith in reject you or accuse you or make up stuff about you or turn and attack you, who you got? You've only got Jesus. So make sure that you're firmly rooted in your faith. Make sure you understand the scriptures. Make sure you understand the times that you're living in. Understand that the thief is stealing, killing, and destroying. He's only going to get more and more bold and brazen as we get closer to the end, because he will become more and more desperate. And don't be fooled by false prophets. There's a lot of false prophets out there. They come in the form of politicians. They come in the form of uh, Just you'll see the main false prophet when the new temple's erected and uh, they go and proclaim themselves as Messiah. So that would be the last straw right there. So that's the Bible verse again tonight. Philippians 4 down through 9, and we will get on with the show. Well, Doug, I'm sorry, I didn't even give you a chance to comment there.
Oh no, you're good. Excellent. You have to put your faith in God. That's why a lot of stuff going on these days it doesn't even phase me because I got a good foundation. I'm a firm believer. You know, we were warned prior to that this stuff is going to happen. So it's not shocking.
No. I mean, if you know the scriptures, it all makes sense. If
Yeah.
you know what's coming, all this stuff, all of the one world government, all of the trying to get us to a digital currency, I'm telling you guys, if you don't already own gold and silver and lead that's encased in brass, you probably need to invest in that and a water filter and a food source. I'm just telling you, I don't know how long we'll tarry. I don't know when the rapture will occur. I don't know if it's pre, mid, post trib. I don't get in that argument. I'm just gonna be ready, like the girl that had the lamps with the oil in it and the wicks trimmed. I'm ready. No, I think I'm ready for whatever comes. But my hope isn't even in my preparations. My hope again is in Jesus. But you need to make sure that for the sake of your family, that you've got some preps, and we'll talk more about our new sponsors maybe next week that could help you out with that. All right. Why are we not at the NRA annual meeting, Doug?
Why are we not there? Because we're both gimped up
Yeah,
partially.
we're, we're walking corpses. Now, I could not walk NRA annual
Oh
meeting if I had to. I mean, I even my knee cart, I couldn't handle it. It's so big, so much standing, nowhere to sit. Uh, that
nowhere to sit.
and my schedule, man. I have got so much going on. Uh, Ever since my parents have passed, I have had to pick up a bunch of mantles. I've got more hats than I had before, and I'm trying to get it simplified as much as I can. But it takes me and my family a great effort to get everything done in a day. And most days we don't get it. I handed my youngest son Gunner a list yesterday. Well, three lists. I gave him three different lists for three different things going on. One for the farm, one for the rental properties, and one for our own house. I was like, these are the things I need you to do. Keep track of your hours, and so he's been helping out. It's been a blessing having him here. I don't know what I would be able to do. I wouldn't be able to do anything without him here. He's such a help. But I, I couldn't even fathom trying to go. I enjoy. I mean, I'm not happy about the leadership of the NRA right now. I've put all
Yeah.
my money into the other organizations that are actually fighting for our rights and not compromising. Um, but it is a great meeting of a lot of our fans and a lot of suppliers and people. I mean, Crossbreeds is up there. I keep seeing Paul Markle posting that they're going to be there, they're going to be here, and my hope was to go out west this summer, but it's looking doubtful that I'm going to ever make it out there. I was going to go to Wyoming and stop in and visit Paul for a while and hit Montana, Idaho. A lot of my favorite places out there this summer. But if my foot heals up and I can catch a break where I could go for a few weeks, uh, that might still happen, but I don't know. But the NRA. If you have an opportunity to go, the annual meeting, it's a awesome event. A lot of people go put a lot of hard work into it. I'm not discouraging you guys from going, and I wish I could
Mm.
could be there and meet up with a lot of our fans. We meet a lot of fans out on the floor. We're out walking, or we'll meet them at the Crossbreed booth. We've met them at Keltec. We've met them at some other vendors as well. We've met them at Glock
Ackless.
before. Ackless Defense, yeah.
I
Uh,
was looking at one of my memories came up today. Speaking of Atlas, um, you know, I think it was the 3rd of March. Charlie's been gone for a year. It doesn't even seem like he's been gone a year
I
already.
know it's just so crazy.
But a picture came up. Charlie was trying to sell me a 9 millimeter can, and yeah, I miss him. I miss him going when he used to go live on Facebook and stuff. He'd do it early in the mornings on his drives and different things. And I'd always get on there and mess with him and talk to him. Just a super nice guy.
Yeah, yeah. Brian said we should have Paul on the show. We've had Paul on. He's had me on. He has had me on a couple of times. One time was for the oh, trying to remember what it was called. He had a new series, and I was the first guest on it about spiritual. What is it called? It's an unusual name. But he had me on as one of the first guests on there, and he's been on our show before. Early on, we had him on,
He
uh,
has.
yeah, we ought to try to get him back on again. I try to pick up his cigar time whenever he has cigar time. I check in a lot. Uh, I've sent him cigars as gifts before, and he's had he put our sticker up on the little safe behind him out there
He
in his
did.
shop. So he we comment and talk to each other often. We send each other messages a lot, and he sends me things that I might have missed. I send him things he might miss. But Paul's a good guy, and Jared,
We
and
we had him on after he what book was it he had done? Um,
no
one of his
telling.
books we were helping promote.
He's
Was it
got
Honey
like
Badger?
yeah, I think it was a honey badger we came on. That's been a while. He's got a new book he just came out with. I just bought it the other day. And we read the same kinds of books, and I'll recommend him books, and he'll recommend me books. We recommend each other different guests to have on. We haven't had any guests on a long time. We need to probably fix that. But if you have an
Listen,
opportunity to go the NRA annual meeting, it's a great place to meet like-minded individuals. And one of my fondest memories was hanging out with Gunny at NRA Houston. Spent some time with him there. NRA Houston 2013. That's where I met Ron Bellin the first time, and got to be friends with Ron and his brother John and their crew, and we had a great friendship. And I sure do miss Ron too, man. I
I
tell
do
you,
too.
I hate lost all these friends um, in the organization and in the family of the farms family, and it's just makes you realize how short life is. I tell you,
I can't remember. I can't remember where the first show where the
I think
show
you
was
came
at.
to Indy. I think the first one we did together was at Indianapolis.
Was it in Indy?
I think so.
Because I met I got talking to Jeff Axelson at
Yeah,
that one, and we got to be pretty good friends. We
I
got
think
to be
that
real
was
good friends.
Nashville when you met. I think it was Nashville when you met Jeff Axelson.
Was it Nashville there?
Yeah, I think you had your family. Your family came up, or was that Georgia? It might be Atlanta.
That was me. Me and Sean was in Nashville.
Okay.
I can't remember which one. It might have been Indy. I don't know. I've been to
You had
Indy.
some.
I've been
You
to
had some
Louisville.
Kentucky family came up to Indy. I think.
That was Louisville. That's when they did it in
Oh, that was
Louisville.
Louisville. Okay, maybe it
Yeah,
was Louisville then.
yeah. When John and some other family was up there.
Rick says it
Where?
was Nashville.
What was Nashville? Uh, yeah, I was at
Uh,
Nashville too, but um, I'd already met Jeff at a previous one before that one
yeah,
because we had to go back and look because it was just before they were fixing to. Well, we'd met them. They were fixing to promote selling the tickets for the foundation for Matt,
yeah,
and we helped do raffles and tickets and stuff
yeah,
like that. Had him on the show promoting it, and the next year it might have been Nashville that we were at, and we talked to him. We were talking to him so because we had him on the show,
yeah.
and that's when he sent us the new rifles.
Right. Rick
Rick said,
saying, yeah,
"Yeah, I introduced it. Yeah, 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 yeah."
yeah, Yeah, I met Jeff and his mom and dad at when Gunner and I went to Montana for the Atlas Defense. Is that right? Not Atlas Defense. It was
No, it was
Antirius
Interior
Alliance,
Alliance. Yep.
but it was before it was Antirius Alliance. It was Pillar of Patriots or something. I forget what. It was something else before that. That's when Jeff was a part of it. But I met him and his mom and dad, and of course Ron was there. The whole reason
Hmm.
I went was because Ron invited me to come up there in Montana and shoot machine guns and stuff. This new device I've got keeps reminding me that it's available. I'm like, I don't need you. Okay, but that's where I won the Falcor Reese rifle at was at
Yep.
Montana at that event, and that's where I spent. They had a cookout like the night before the event, and I hung out with Corky, Jeff's dad, and his mom. They were awesome people, and that was a lot of fun. I wish we had another event like that. Of course, Ron not being there, and Jeff's. I don't know what Jeff's doing now. I don't know if he's still building guns or not.
I don't know.
I,
I need to hit him up one
I
day. And
tagged him with some. I tagged him in some things. I think it's called Atlas. It's not firearms now. It's Atlas something else.
Ackles
Well,
or Axel?
not Axelson.
It's AxelsonUSA.com.
Yeah, because I think they sell apparel and stuff like that now. Well, we're rambling, but there's a lot of friendships to be made at the NRA. You can just be a regular Joe, go in there and talk to uh, all the different vendors and meet the presidents of these companies. I mean, Carol will be at Crossbreed booth. She's a little bitty petite blondish woman, and she is just a little angel, just a wonderful lady, and very, very outgoing and very involved in the community. And then all the guys there at the booth, just old friends. It's good to hang
Yeah,
out there.
Rick is on here listening to the show tonight, and I'll never forget when we went to Nashville to the NRA. I told him, I called him, I was like, "Hey man, you got to come over to the NRA, man, and hang out with us." And there's lots of cool stuff. He's like, I don't know. But he finally came over. He came over there, and I don't think he'd been there 15 minutes. He'd already won a cheaper than dirt gift card.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, well that's cool. And next thing you know, they're calling him from the ER Shaw booth. He'd won an ER Shaw rifle,
Oh yeah,
custom
that was
built.
that nice one, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, and
Gosh.
which by the way, he still hasn't let me shoot. I'm not going to let him forget that.
Wow.
I know,
Rick,
right,
that's just unbelievable.
Rick? But I will shoot it one day. But yeah, he come over, he cleans house and wins all kinds of stuff. So he enjoyed coming to that one. Where are they going next after Indy? Do you know where it goes next? Does it come to
I
Atlanta?
I've not. It seems like it was it. I can't. Where was that last year? Louisville.
Last year was at Houston.
So it was Houston last year. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
that's why I didn't go last year because it was
Yeah,
in Houston.
I don't ever care to go back. Not to be offensive to the people of Houston, but Houston's a nut house. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not like Dallas or the other parts of Texas. Uh, but yeah, I don't much care for Atlanta personally either. But that's just me. It's close to you to drive, but I stayed down there and I wasn't impressed. But
Well, you stayed downtown, didn't you?
yeah, I sat right next to the convention center.
Yeah, yeah. I just drove up,
Yeah,
for it. But Nashville, we stayed up there for Nashville and
yeah,
parked over at the stadium, walked across the bridge down to the convention center.
yeah,
And Nashville one was a good one too.
yeah.
That was a
I
lot of
like
fun.
Nashville and Lowell's. I don't mind. I mean, I like Indy's better than Atlanta. Not that Indy has a good location. It's just that I just don't like Atlanta. I don't like driving through it. I don't like staying in it. I don't like being around that many people. It's just a hot mess.
Don't like nothing to do with it.
I don't
I
want
know
nothing to do with it.
when we were in Atlanta. It was I had so much fun. I had so much fun in Atlanta because my kids got to go and
Yep.
see a little bit of what you know the gun industry is on the side that what we do.
Yeah.
On the side when we're not real working. But it was funny. I was walking through the show with my daughter Tara and her husband Matt, and we walked by Acklis's. We were almost to Acklis's thing, and Charlie and Joe were standing out in the front there talking, showing off stuff. And my daughter goes, "Dad, you know who that is?" I'm like, "Who? Who are you looking at?" And she said, "Those guys right there." She said, "They were on that show on Discovery Channel."
Huh?
I said, "Ah, I believe you're right. I believe it is them." And she said, "I wonder if they let me take their picture." I was like, one way to find out." And we walked over there, and they were talking to somebody, and then Charlie turns around, looks at me. He's like, he always called me Dougie. He's like, "Dougie," and I was like, "Charlie, what's up?" And give him a big hug. And my daughter's looking at me like, "You know him?" I'm like, I do know him.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we were in Atlanta. We were walking down through there, and my daughter Tiffany was there, and she was walking with us. And Matt and him went and looked at something else. And one of our fans just walked up behind me and put his hand on my shoulder, and I turned around. And he said, "Aren't you Doug from God and Guns?" I was like, "I am." He introduced himself. We sitting there talking. He said, "You mind if we take a pic? Me and my daughter take a picture with you?" I was like, "Absolutely." And we took a picture. My daughter's just standing there like, got her mouth wide open. And I'm like, I said, "What's?" And they walked off. I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" She said, "They want to take a picture with you." I was like, "And so? So what's wrong with that?" She goes, "I just can't believe somebody want to take their picture with you." I was like, "Well, I can't
I,
either."
I take my picture with you all the time. What's
And then, one of where were we at? Well, it was this was Nashville too. Our buddy Steve was up there,
yeah.
and we were sitting back there in the little concession area, sitting there with I think my brother was John was there. You were sitting there.
Hmm.
Um, I can't remember who else was sitting there with us. Steve and his wife were sitting there,
Yeah.
and Hickok walks up and
Yeah.
just starts talking to us. He's like, "Hey, you mind if I sit down?" And he sits down with us and just starts talking.
Yeah.
It
I've
was
known
funny.
Greg for a long time.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, Steve leans over to me. He's like, "Dude, do you realize that's Hickok 45?" I was like, I do realize that." He said, "This is the coolest show."
yeah. I've I haven't talked to Greg in a while. I need to check and see how he's doing. But he's still putting out videos.
He is
I
him
have
and
John.
Plinkster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've not talked to Dave much either, so I need to
I
check in on.
last time we talked to him, I guess we were up at Iraqi Vet Shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, he got too big for us for a while there, and then he started coming back again. Yeah, when Henry picked him up, he got to be a busy man.
Hey, I can't complain too bad because he had me over to his house when I was up there duck hunting with Rick up in Tennessee. He had me come up there, and
Yeah,
he wanted to do a video with my 22 TCM on bulletproof glass. So he took us in and showed us his man room,
yeah,
and I think he's
it's cool.
got every
Well, one of us is
inner.
breaking up.
It's probably me. My internet has been screwy. They've been trying to put fiber in for other people on the street, and they
Uh,
mess it up about every other day for a while.
yeah, that's
But
tends to be the way
he
it
took it.
goes
He's
around.
like, "What?" David's like, What do you want to shoot?" I was like, "I don't know. What can we shoot?" He said, "Take your pick." He had an 1860 original sitting there in 4440. I was like, can we shoot that one?" He goes, "Heck yeah!" We
Yeah,
got range like, I mean, that thing is smooth as butter.
yeah. I met him.
I
That's
got a
how
lot of
I
good
got
memories from the
into.
NRA shows.
Yeah, that's how I got. The reason I got into being the host of Guide and Guns for you guys that are new, I went to. They were trying to push a gun ban back in 2012, 2013. There was some school
Hmm.
shooting. What was it? Not Columbine. It was Sandy Hook, and they were
Yep.
going for it. Boy, they was pushing hard and fast. And I went to Frankfurt and went up there, and I was talking to Hickok, and he said, "Hey, you're." I was living in Glasgow time. He said, "You're practically in Tennessee. You need to come down to Nashville and go to our protest at the Capitol building." And he said, "I'm coming to Kentucky." And I'm like, "Okay." So when he came up to Kentucky, me and him hung out, Hickok 45. And when I went to Nashville, uh, hung out with him, that's when I met Zeke Stout, who
Mm-hmm.
was talking lit. And so I met Zeke, and Marty was supposed to be there, but he didn't make it. He was late and couldn't get a parking spot or something. But I met Zeke. So Zeke and Hickok, of course, John, uh, uh, Greg's son, was there, and they introduced me to Zeke. And Zeke said he was on the Farms Radio Network, and he had a new show called Talking Lit. And it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And so I was also there to meet. Oh gosh, I just drew a blank. Bogue Quinn and Jeff Quinn. Jeff and Bogue Quinn, they said, hey, they're going to be there and wanted me to meet up there too. So I met, if y'all know Gunblast, Jeff Quinn from Gunblast, and Bogue is his brother, or Boge is his brother. And I met them two at the same thing. And we talked a little while. And then I ended up sending him a bulletproof backpack to review for my brother. My brother started a bulletproof backpack company, and so he reviewed that. But I'd given him some stuff, and then when I was there, I met Dave from 22 Pleak, who's 22 Pleakster. I ain't gonna give you his real name, but uh, I think everybody knows Dave is his first name. But I met him at the same thing. So here I am, just a nobody here from Kentucky, just down to protest, and so uh, Jeff and Bo had something else they had to go to, and so they left. But I got Greg and Zeke and 22 Planks invited me to go out to lunch with them or out to eat with them after the event was over with. And I went with them, and then TN9 was another podcaster that did gun reviews there in Nashville. He was with us, and so if you've never met Hickok 45 or Zeke or 22 Planks, they're all like 6'9", 6'10". They're huge, tall, and I'm the shortest guy. Well, besides I can't remember the boy's name. The man's name from TN9 Outdoors or something like that. I don't even know if he does videos anymore, but he was a little bit shorter than me. But I mean, I feel like a little kid walking in there with him. Of course, John is huge too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Greg's son, he's like 6'8", 6'9". And so we go into steak restaurants there, and so that's why I met Zeke while we are eating because he showed up and was talking, and he told me about their show, and then he said, "Hey, you probably would like a new show that we've got on the Farmers Radio Network called God and Guns." I was like, "Oh, really?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah, check it out." And he gave me a card and told me what it was on and stuff. And then I was going to go to the NRA, and I'd kept talking to Zeke, and I think I commented on their show or something, and they said that he said, "Hey, you gotta go to Houston with us." And I'm like, well, I was thinking about going because I was going to a lot of NRA shows back then, and he said, "Yeah, go to Houston with us," and I said, "Okay." He said, "You can be our camera guy," and so I was the first camera guy for Talking Lead, which was
There you go.
Zeke in Left Hand. And he called himself Left Hand at the time, and everyone knows him as Marty now. But I was their cameraman in 2013, and then that's when I met Guy and Guns host Mike, and struck up a friendship with him. And then they said they were looking for another host to help come in and fill because the other co-host wasn't going to be able to do it all the time because he had a new baby and he had a really crazy work schedule. And so they invited me on as a third wheel, third whatever, third lug or whatever. And so I was on there for one or two episodes, sort of like another host. And then that guy said, "Hey, I'm quitting." And so he said, I've got too much going on, I can't do it." And so he retired, and then Mike got this promotion at work, and after like I think we did like 5 or 6 shows together, and then he retired. So within 3 months, probably or less, of meeting Zeke, I ended up being the show host of God and Guns with no experience in any of that stuff. But it's just, and then it would just, of course, you meet when you go to these shows, you meet, and they introduce you. The gun community is really like a big family. One person
It
will
is.
introduce you to another person who introduces you to another person. Then before long, you're friends with all these people. And now I know, probably 50% of all the different manufacturers and stuff. Have their business cards. I've talked to them. I've talked to them about their products and stuff like that. We've had a lot of people on our show over the years, but yeah, I guess it will be June will be officially completed 10 years of being on this show, which is crazy. Well, we've rambled on and we're rolling on through here, so let's go ahead and start hitting our couple last things here, and then we'll get to the armed citizen. We got if you want patches and stickers, I got just a few left. Again, I need to. You guys got to remind me. Somebody send me a message this week to remind me get with Jake and get some more stuff ordered. We've got a Subscribe Star account. It's God dash and dash guns. You go subscribe star da my tongue quit working. Subscribestar.com/, God dash and dash guns. And if you would like to send us some love, we would appreciate it. And you got the last two, then we got the Armed Citizen of the Week.
Hey, next was PowerTac lights. Hey, if you're looking for a great flashlight, headlamp, gun light, um, I bought a 4,000 lumen light from them for alligator hunting that worked awesome. Um, PowerTac lights. If you're looking for a good one with a good warranty on it, go check our buddies out at powertac.com, and they will hook you up with something. If you find one that you like and you want to get it, use our promo code God and Guns. Get 30% off just for listening to the show. So go check them out at powertac.com. Also, Crossbreed holsters. You've heard Troy and I talk for almost 10 years now, probably, about crossbreed holsters. We both carry with crossbreeds, and the product is awesome. They pretty much make a holster for any way you want to carry with any combination you have on a gun and for just about any gun out there. And they are by far, without a doubt, the most comfortable holster that you can get. And let's face it, if you don't have a comfortable holster, you're probably not going to carry your gun when you need it. So go check our buddies out at crossbreedholsters.com. Use promo code G and G over there, and they'll give you 10% off for just listening to us.
Well, I can tell you, they're running a special right now, 20% off for the NRA. So from now until
Really?
till the end of the what is it, the 20, whatever the end of the weekend, it's 20% off across the board at
Well, I need to
Crossbreed.
go ahead and order me a mini tuck.
I did. I just ordered me a new a new holster. Yeah, last night they started promo last week. Last night, I thought I shared it on Facebook. Maybe I didn't, but if not, we need to share that 20% off NRA special.
We do. There's probably a lot of 'em- There's probably a lot of our sponsors that are out there that are doing stuff for the show. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah. Check out the specials right now with NRA specials. Most of them are offering something. I did. Oh, for you guys that are looking for like 22 ammo, I was looking for 22 shot shells because I shut up all the ones I had on Carpenter bees, and I started looking around for it. I couldn't find it anywhere local. Nobody locally had it at all, and it's sort of a odd thing to find it in a shop. And but I got online, started looking. It was like some places. It was like most places I looked was 19.99, and a lot of places didn't have it in stock. Your online ammo sellers. And then one place was $39 a box of 20 for 22 shot shells. I'm like, no way.
What?
And so I just Googled CCI 22 shot shell just to see what popped up in the feed. Well, up pops CCI's own page. It says buy here. Like, so I clicked on CCI's uh, web page, and sure enough, you can buy 22 long rifle or all of the CCI ammo that I guess they offer there. You can buy it online direct from the company, and it had free shipping. So
Hmm.
I bought a whole bunch of ammo, 22 ammo. I got all the Carpenter B ammo I need for a long time to keep my little Wrangler here happy. Uh, but I've been shooting Carpenter bees and starlings and groundhogs. Killed two groundhogs this week. I used a 1022 on the groundhogs, but
Look like that.
yep, looks like that.
That's 22 22 shot shells right
You probably
there.
got that cheap. How much did you pay for that? I saw the tag on it.
Uh, Actually, it was a dollar and something.
That's some old stuff, huh?
Yeah, it.
Comes in a
I
blue
got
cardboard box with a plastic insert now.
I got
But it,
those too.
yeah,
Where's my camera? There's my
that's your
camera.
snake. That's your snake shots, huh?
That's my snake shot,
Snake
and
shot.
I got some 44 Magnum snake shot too.
I got me a 357-38 Derringer for shot for snakes. Next time I come to Georgia, I have some snake shot.
Just shoot in the blind with you.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, that
oh,
dude was a little close, rubbing my leg like that. All right, we were
mm.
going to armed citizen. People are going to go to bed on us.
NRA armed citizen comes to us from Montgomery, Alabama. When a woman called police after being assaulted by her husband, officers advised her to pursue a protective order against him. The woman was on her way to the police station with her two adult sons when the husband rammed his car into hers, drove them off the road, and approached them while brandishing a handgun. One son, an off-duty sheriff's deputy, told his brother and mother to run when his father opened fire. Despite being shot 5 times, the son was able to draw his own gun and fatally shoot his father before anyone else was harmed. He
Whew,
was hospitalized in critical condition but is expected to survive.
man,
Not 5 times.
that sounds like what's that show? Well, it was based in Eastern Kentucky.
Justified.
Justified. This is like an episode of Justified. Was that based in Kentucky? Where's that
It
from?
was. He was in Kentucky, up around Hazard.
Oh, there you go.
I
That's probably
love
where they
that
got their
show.
script. They're
Love
coming
that
back.
show.
They're coming out with a new season.
They are. Yep.
I don't know when it releases or not, but yeah, I enjoyed Justified. Now it's not, it's a lot of cussing and stuff in there, but yeah, kiddies can't watch that one. But it was a lot of that probably they got from actual cases in Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, it probably did, honestly.
But I thought that sounds Eastern Kentucky like. And sure enough, because let's see, his dad was like the big drug dealer or crime family lead or something, and Raylan was a U.S. Marshal.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Raylan Givens.
The only thing I didn't like about that show was where they would have the gun guy would have guys with guns with rings on their gun but no scopes in them looking through the rings
Mm,
like, like that was a thing, or a bolt action rifle with no sights on it. It had the place to mount a scope, but there was no. And they were shooting these things with no optics on it. It's like, let's take that scope off of there and let's
What,
leave the rings on there. Like,
once they got the gun, man, it took a while to save up enough money to get the scope up there. Come on.
no man.
It's-
No, guys in East Kentucky know their guns. I'm not. They're hunters and they live with guns. I mean,
they do.
ain't no ain't no Eastern Kentucky boy gonna have a gun with a scope rings and no scope on it.
Hey, they
That's
take the
just
scope
somebody
out of
from
it so they see
California to
the
do
iron
something like that.
sights.
There were no iron sights on it. It was just a smooth barrel with scope rings on.
No,
It's like the time that they used to. What was it? The Charlie's Angels. I saw a guy screw a suppressor onto a revolver. I was
mm,
like, and I was like 10. I was like, that can't work because the gas will just come out the side. I'm just saying, like, you can't put a suppressor on it. It's not going to suppress anything. And then another time, somebody shot a bullet, and it was, they went and had a close up where the bullet hit. It was the whole bullet, case and all, stuck in a piece of wood. Look, we found a bullet, but it was the whole cartridge. It was it was the bullet and the case and the primer. It hadn't even been struck. Stuck in the thing.
I think that was a little bit of police tampering.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was the guy that was shooting the scene didn't realize that the whole case doesn't fly down range and stick in a piece of wood. Oh my! The thing is that my wife can't watch movies with me because I catch every problem with it.
Oh, I do too.
I'm like that's not right. You can't shoot like that. How many rounds does that revolver have? 37.
Yeah, he ain't reloaded at one time.
I like the old cowboy westerns. They sling them bullets there. Pow! We're getting a giddy. All right, we better wrap this thing up before we get too stupid. Send your feedback to Troy at guyandgunspodcast.com or
Doug at GodandGunsPodcast.com.
please tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/GuyandGunsPodcast. You can subscribe and follow us on YouTube for now. You can find us over on Instagram. We got Wimkin page. I haven't been there in probably a year. We got Rumble that we're on live. If you don't have a Rumble account, please get a Rumble account and find us and make sure you got notifications. So when we do this, because, at any time YouTube, because, it's election year coming up soon, they'll probably banish us for talking about their puppet meister. Let's see. We were on MeWe. I haven't been on MeWe probably a year. I know I was over looking for guns the other day, but nobody's posted them right now, so we probably won't be on MeWe much longer. Our website's Gun and Guns Podcast. Let's see. Until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
Hey, keep your guns close, but keep your Bibles closer.
Thank you all for being with us. We appreciate all the comments and snide remarks. And please like, share, and make sure that you comment. All those things help our algorithms to be able to get it out there a little bit. And
Give
that
us
we
an iTunes review too.
Yeah, we haven't had any iTunes reviews in a while, so we could use some good ones. We don't want any Canadian ones.
No Canadian ones, eh?
No Canadian ones, eh?
Unless
But
you're going to give us a good one.
unless you'll give us a good one, yeah. Yeah, my wife hadn't been in the bucket of the skidder in at least 8 years. I don't know.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and she won't wear flip flops in there anymore either. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Good night, you guys. We appreciate it.
Good night, all.
Adios. If I can find the right button.